So in my last two videos we talked about why site speed is important and then also how to tell if your website has site speed issues. Today I'm going to show you 3 ways that you can resize your images to keep your pages loading quickly and converting more sales. So I've done a post about image size versus file size before, but basically all you need to know is that there's 3 key ways that you can reformat your image to get the overall file size down. The first step is to check and change the resolution of your file. So say for example you've had a photographer come in and take some headshots or some product photos for your website. Most photographers will give you 2 versions of your photo. They'll give you the high-res version and then they'll give you the low-res version. And what I mean when I say high-res and low-res is the DPI or the dots per square inch of an image. High-res files are great for print because they can be scaled up and scaled down without losing quality, but not so much for web, because the more dots you have per square inch, the larger the image file is going to be. So for the most part, if you're working with print, you'd be looking at a file that is around 300 DPI. But for web, we really only want something that is around 72 DPI. You'll be able to check the resolution of an image by right-clicking on the file if you're on a PC and clicking on Properties. If you're on a Mac, try opening the image in Preview and then hitting Command I, which will bring up the image information. If you have an image that's over 72 DPI, there are a number of tools, either free ones online or if you know how, you can use Photoshop to change the resolution of your image. But here's the thing, a 72 DPI image can still be quite a big file size. So there are other ways that we can look to resize this image to bring that file size down. The next step is to just resize the image for the space that you need it to fill on your website. And yes, this does mean that perhaps sometimes you might need to have a few different versions of the same image, which can take a little bit more time to put together, but the speed savings are worth it. So take this smiley chat for example. This is the 300 DPI image, the original file from the photographer. Here's that same file size at 72 DPI. So you can see that we can keep the images roughly the same size on a screen without losing any quality. Now for good measure, here's a version of the image which has been cropped to fit a very specific space on my website. So you can see from all 3 versions, every time we've resized that image, the file size has also gotten smaller. Now, the last step is one that a lot of people often forget, which is to compress the image size as much as you can without losing quality. And my favourite tool for this is TinyJPEG or TinyPNG, which is a free service you can use online. And all you need to do is drag and drop the image onto the web page, it'll compress the file for you and then you can download it in a new format. The thing that I like about this is they use a thing called lossless technology, which means that the image file size doesn't actually lose a lot of quality in the process, but the file size can be cut by 50 to 70% in a lot of cases. And that's it. So if you have any questions about how to resize or reformat your images for web, or if you've got any questions about site speed in general, feel free to just drop a comment below or check me out on marketable.nz.